everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, what's happening, folks?
Sam Healey, what's up, y'all?
All right. Well, today we're doing our top 10 great games that we'll never play again. Well, probably.
Maybe.
Now, this was a list that I thought would be interesting. It's not an easy list to put together, right? Because most great games you will probably play again at some point.
Yeah.
Or at least... And I also didn't want, for me personally, I didn't want this list to be a complete repeat of games that murdered other games, where I was just saying, I'm never going to play this because I have a better one. Although there's a couple of those on my list kind of sort of that fit that category, but they all don't.
Yeah.
And there are some games on my list that I actually dislike, but I think they are great games regardless. They're just not my style at all. I played them and I'm done with them.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty much the same for me as well. I don't think... I mean, there are a couple, like you were saying, where it was replaced by a similar game, but there are none of them that are replaced by like an upgraded version or anything like that.
I wonder if we'll have any crossover. I think we might have a couple crossover. We'll see. There's certainly one game that I considered putting on the list, which is in your top 10, which was Pandemic Legacy. I almost put that on there because I'm like, I'm done.
Well, I almost put that on there too, but I think I actually might play it a third time.
That's the thing. I've been thinking maybe I'll play that with my family at some point.
In a few years, I'll probably play it again.
Risk Legacy may have made my list, but it didn't because I still have an unopened copy on my shelves that I'm waiting to go through with my family. So
I thought about Risk Legacy too, but then I thought there's that possibility.
Yeah.
Although, of course, I could have made my list because of all the ones on my list, especially one of them, which Sam's going to yell at me about, there's a possibility that one will be there.
Oh, I might have that same game on my list.
You've never played it, idiot.
No, not that game.
Oh, okay.
Which game do you think I haven't played?
TI3.
Oh, no.
Actually, TI3 can't make my list since we're doing a live play of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, well, here we go. Let's get to the 10s.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is Duel of Ages set to... No, I'm just kidding. That's not a good game. Number 10
What?
is...
He's starting right at the gate? I didn't know this was a confrontational list.
Swinging.
No, I'm just kidding. My number 10 is a game that is, in my opinion, way, way, way too long. And that's coming from a person whose favorite game, possibly one of my top 5 favorite games, is TI3. So if this game that I'm about to say is too long, you know it's long. And that is Seven Ages. Yes.
Okay.
I actually really did enjoy the game when I played it the one time. I don't have a desire to play that game ever again, though.
Would I like it?
Yes, you would love it because you might even be able to get in a power nap between turns.
Actually, 7 Ages was on my short list.
Yeah.
But I think if I was in the right place at the right convention,
no.
people could be like, hey, let's play 7 Ages, and I'd be like,
You're going to hear that now at every convention.
I know, right? Hey,
You're
we're playing
asking.
7 Ages over here.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing for the next 3 days?
Exactly.
it's not that long, but it is a very lengthy
No, I
game.
mean, and this is not one of the ones I was thinking about that has been replaced, but I mean, seriously, if I'm going to spend that much time playing a game, it's going to be with a theme that I really, really enjoy.
Do you think,
much
though,
more.
that maybe it might have made a bigger impression being that long if the components were not just garbage? The components of that game, there's tiny little counters.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
How long is that game?
It's about...
It's longer than TI3, which is like infinity to
It's
you.
about 4 hours for 2 players.
So
Or if you play with like 5
2 hours
players,
a
it's
player.
probably 7-8 hours. No, it doesn't go
it was
that much
longer than
longer.
that. Are you
Huh?
sure? I thought it was longer than that.
I would say no. I played a full game of it, and it with I think 5 players, and I believe it took us 7 hours.
But that was also
And that's me
like
teaching it and stuff.
Yeah, that was with teaching it, but we were keeping it at a good clip too, right?
Right.
So I mean, it wasn't like
Oh, that's the
there
game
was
he's
just
talking about.
there was just people like downtime this and downtime that. It was like we were boom, 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 boom.
But I
boom.
also played a 2-player game, which was fun, but it just took.
4 hours.
So anyway, my number 10. I really don't care if I never play this game ever again. But it was a fun game. It was a good experience. 7 Ages.
My number 10 is super similar to that. It's a game that's very similar to Twilight Imperium, except it's in the feudal era and with diplomacy and religion and all that, and that's Warrior Knights.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really like Warrior Knights, but it is a good 4-hour game.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't mind it, In fact, I really enjoy it.
Yep.
There are too many other games that I would, if I have those 4 hours, I'd rather play them. I'd rather play Twilight Imperium, for example, than Warrior Knights, because I think the game is maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, man, I like Warrior Knights, but I'm really sure I won't play again. Now, if they come out with Warrior Knights 3rd Edition, I will recant that and play the new one.
Well,
but I'm assuming it
yeah.
will be slightly shorter.
But that's kind of a... You almost have to do that because of what we do. So, I mean, would you...
No, but even if I wasn't reviewing,
Okay.
if they came out with the Warrior Knights 3rd Edition, I'd be like, oh, I hope it's streamlined. I hope it's like, I hope that same feeling in a shorter
Right.
period of time.
Sure.
All right, so Warrior Knights, my number 10.
All right, my number 10 is Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which is a very well done game. It's a very interesting design. It's a game that gets a lot of love, but for me, it flips a switch in my brain that really makes me shut down. It gives me a lot of analysis paralysis, especially when I'm deciding what to price different rooms at, And I thought the game was very clever. It was very well done. It has aspects that I'm a big fan of, especially the building up of the castle itself, deciding what goes where and why. But it's a game I am never going to play again. It just made me slow down way too much, and it just didn't captivate me enough, I think, for me to have a repeat showing of it. So that's my number 10, Castles of Mad King Ludwig. What are you doing?
What is wrong with you? It's like the easiest thing to do in the world.
Anyway, let's move on.
Number 9.
All right, my number 9 is the one Sam's going to give me garbage over.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Well, here's the deal. This is my biggest maybe. If you get me down, I really like this game. I'll probably play it, but the game for this one has evolved to the point where most people who play it, I don't want to play it with, and that is X-Wing miniatures.
No, I won't give you trouble about that.
Okay, look, I love X-Wing. It's a lot of fun. And if I still had it, I could play like with my kids or someone else, or with Sam. But the fact is that if I play it now with people who play the game, every time I read like about a new ship that comes out, people are like, oh, well, here's the builds that this would work with, and this and this and this. And like, I just want to put a couple ships on the board and go around and shoot each other.
It's like a CCG for miniature gamers.
Right, and so it's evolved to that point, and so I just don't think I'll play. I mean, they announced new ships, and I'm not even interested. Now, I still think it's a great game. It won the Dice Tower Game of the Year. I think it was good, but,
I can't go that far. I see those new miniatures, and I'm like, oh.
No. I think the miniatures themselves are neat, but I don't sit there and go, ooh, I can't wait to play that in a game. So it's possible. This is, like I said, it's possible. I might be in a situation where I'll play X-Wing again. But I found that also at the beginning when we first played it, it was like, hey, put a couple X-Wings out, put some TIE Fighters out. We played this 45-minute game. Well, that kind of has gone away. Now it's like, hey, there's 30 ships per side, and it's like,
exactly. Right.
And if I'm gonna do that, I'll play Armada. Armada is also kind of part of this because hey, now I can play with Imperial Star Destroyers, and I like that, and still have the X-Wings.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. That's X-Wing.
All right, my number 9 is a similar thing to my number 10, but this is an economic game, a heavy economic game, which surprised me with how much I liked it. I just don't think I want to go back, and that's Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations.
You like Wealth of Nations?
I do. I liked it very much.
I thought you were going to give them junk about
Wealth of Nations is a very heady game. There's a lot going on in it. You are putting out tiles. You are building these little circles that sometimes come on 2 tiles. And once you build the whole circle between them, you generate more of that stuff. You buy and sell. You barter. There is a lot going on. The game's not pretty, and it looks very abstract, but it's a heady game. It's a very engaging game. But it's long, it's really mathy, and I think they fixed this actually, but the end of the game used to be where you would, literally like the last 30 minutes was you just slowly selling everything back in turn, where you'd go, okay, so we're done playing, now we sell everything back. I'm selling these. Then you sell something, you sell something, you sell something. Okay, now I'm selling these. Just to figure out what your final score was. And you needed to do it in order because the prices would change. So I couldn't just sell everything of mine. Everybody else would be hosed. So there were a few things I had issues with, but the game is a very solid economic game. That's Wealth of Nations, my number 9.
Is this the one that had Abraham Lincoln on the front of the cover?
No, it has like a guy and like gears. It has like a guy standing there,
I don't think you've ever played this one. I actually don't think you would like it because you're not a huge fan of...
It sounds like something I would abhor. So.
Yeah, I actually... now that you mention it, this is a game I could have put on my list because I really like it. But for me, if I'm going to play an economic game, there's a whole lot of newer ones that have come out that I really enjoy.
Right.
It's a pretty solid game, but you're right. There is like, I will sell this cube. Your turn. Type thing.
Yes.
I will take this cube that you're giving me with my hand.
Oh, man. Meme Central. Here we go. What do you got?
All right, my number 9 is a game that I actually really did enjoy, and I've played it a couple of times, so I guess I kind of cheated there. But it just has kind of fallen off the end of the earth for me as far as that's concerned, and that's kind of funny that I use that analogy. I didn't do that on purpose, but it's called Caravelis. And it's a really neat game. I really enjoyed playing it. It had a lot of cool mechanisms, especially the currents that they had on the board that you had to move your ship around.
Yeah, okay.
And you're trying to, everybody starts in Spain and you're supposed to sail out to the New World and then around the Horn of Africa and go over and try to trade and do all this kind of stuff with all the different nations of the unknown world at that point. And then sail back to Spain by a certain time, and whoever has the most points after everybody's got back to Spain is the winner. I really did enjoy it. I'm a sucker. I've already said this for nautical-themed games, and so I really did enjoy the first 1 or 2 times that I played the game, but now it's just sitting on my shelf, and I'm like, yeah, I should, I don't want to anymore.
Wasn't the game very samey, though?
Yeah, and that's probably part of it.
It's like, there's that race, which is very dramatic, but it's sort of like watching that movie again. It sort of plays out pretty much the same way, right?
Right, exactly.
This time it might change.
It's a good game, and I think there's probably a lot of people out there that will enjoy it and probably will find more enjoyment out of it, but I'm just kind of done with it, that's all. But I loved the look of the box art. I loved how the game played. I just don't really have a desire to play it anymore.
Cool.
It's Caravelis, my number 9.
Number 8.
All right, my number 8 is a racing game. I'm a big fan of racing games, but this one is one that the theme really captivated me. It's called Rush and Crush. And
wow, it's on your list, huh?
You're racing, but you're like, it's like Wipeout style F-Zero kind of like little, flying ship, and you can shoot, you can, nuke the guy in front of you, all this crazy stuff.
It's like Death Race 2000.
Yeah, right. But sci-fi.
Right.
And I like all of those things, but there are so many little rules that it bogs down the racing part of the game for me. And that's the thing I don't like. Now, again, like Tom was saying earlier, if they came out with a streamlined version of this, I might jump back on board with that. But, as it is right now, as it stands, you will jump up, race, you do this, but then it's like, okay, now I roll dice, now I check this chart, and if I'm doing the minigun, then I want to roll low, right? Okay. And then you roll, and it's like, oh, no, come on, let me just blow something out of the sky and fly over the wreckage.
He's not there to race. He's there to kill.
Destruction!
So, a very cool game. Great racing mechanisms. That aspect of it is really cool. But the other stuff, all the shooting and blowing up and everything's a little too fiddly for me. So that's why I don't think I'm going to be playing that one anymore. Though I did get a few plays of it, and I do like it. That is Rush and Crush, my number 8.
My number 8 is a game where you are, each player is trying to be the best at building the Wall of China. And this is a game called Chang Ching from Tinky Games.
Okay.
This is actually a really fun game. I really enjoyed the theme of it. I hadn't seen a game like that, and really I don't think I've seen one since that has that theme of building the Wall of China.
That actually is a good theme that we don't see enough of.
I just thought it was really cool. Basically, the whole point of the game is that you're trying to build the Wall of China before the Mongols invade. So I really enjoyed the theme. I really enjoyed the mechanisms. The pieces are really nice. The wall is built using these modular wall tiles, or not tiles, but they're actual plastic pieces. And it's still sitting on my shelf at home. It just won't come off.
You need to clear your collection now, it sounds like, dude.
I guess, yeah.
That company is... Have they disappeared?
Yeah, kind of.
Who put that out?
Tinky Games?
Tenki.
I don't think I've heard from them in a while.
Oh, I don't know.
Tinky Games. So it comes in a box that looks a lot like Queen Games.
Yeah, it looks like one of those big Queen boxes.
No, I know the game. I know what it looks like.
Did you say you're defending
company.
against the Mongols? I'm pretty sure it's Monsters. And you're Matt Damon.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah,
That was
modern
That
culture.
was meta.
All right.
Anyway,
Stuck
that's,
in that movie or something.
No, I don't know anything about the movie.
that's my number
Other
8.
than that, what I just said.
Chang Ching.
All right, my number 8 is one of those games that got beat out by other games. The Cthulhu mythos is like really done to this point. There's a lot of those. This game is Arkham Horror. I like Arkham Horror, and Arkham Horror was already beat up a little bit by Eldritch Horror, right? Why would I play Arkham when Eldritch is around? Now that Betrayal at House on the Hill has the one thing Arkham Horror I liked, which was that whole getting into that theme, getting into the Cthulhu. Well, the new Betrayal at House on the Hill has that in spades, right? So between that, getting that theme I liked from Arkham Horror.
The new Betrayal? What are you talking
When I
about?
say Betrayal at House on the Hill,
Mansions
of Madness. Mansions of Madness, sorry.
Oh, I'm so confused. I'm like, what is he what new Betrayal? What's he talking about?
Sorry,
The
sorry.
new Mansions of
they did a
Madness with
reprint
the
of
app
Betrayal.
is
The
what
new
you're
Mansion
talking
of Madness with the app has that whole spooky Cthulhu feeling
Yes.
that Arkham Horror had. And Eldritch Horror has that whole game go around and find things and stuff
Yes.
that Arkham had. So between the two of those, I'm never going to play Arkham again. Not to mention Arkham is just kind of bloated at this point.
Are you going to play Eldritch again at some point?
Yeah, that I'll play because while I like Mansions of Madness, in Mansion of Madness
7.
there are parts of where the monsters are chasing you and stuff, and they're hard to beat, right? I do want to beat them up sometimes, and you can do that more in Eldritch, right? In Eldritch,
Okay.
you're walking around with machine gun type thing.
Gotcha.
So there's a different feel to them.
Number 7.
My number 7 is a game I will not play again not because I don't like the game, because I wouldn't play again, but because there is now a card game version. So this one is kind of a replacement of the original. The game's Bazzari, which is a very simple game in which you're moving around a board and you are picking an action which is typically one of like 3 things. Grab gems, or jump your little pawn ahead, or something else. But if you match with someone else, then you have to barter for the right to take that action with that person. However, they made a card game version of this, which is very similar. It's in a tiny little package. It works equally well. It's faster, and it fits in my pocket. And so I don't need to keep the old game around anymore. As soon as I got the card game and played it a couple of times, I was like, yeah, original one's gone. This does the exact same job. So that's Bazzari, the board game, and I'm keeping the card game version of it. My
that-
number 7.
Basari.
Yeah.
Okay.
My number 7 was in my top 10 at one point. Yeah, and I'm never going to play it again because, again, this one's been piled on by other games, and that's Age of Steam. But I think Age of Steam is not so much of it being replaced by other games, as also there's been a paradigm shift in how I feel about games. I often don't want to sit down and play a game where it's hard work, and if I make one mistake, it's as if I should not have played the game. And Age of Steam could be that way. Hey, I'm moving this. Oh, you moved that cube? Yeah, I lost. I mean, really? Or, I lost that auction? Oh, well.
I would have put that on my list if I thought it was a good game.
No, here's
Because
the
I'm
deal.
not playing it again, but not because it's a...
Yeah, okay, but I really did like it, okay? I can't go back and say, well, it always was bad. No, I really enjoyed it. I played a lot of the maps for it, and then when Steam came out, I was like, oh. It was almost like retroactive. You're like, oh, this is better. And then, I guess Railroad Tycoon came out first, and I was like, oh, I like this more. Then Steam came out. Then I'm playing all these other train games, like, yeah, Age of Steam... We once had that relationship going, but that was back when I was a young college kid and didn't know what I was doing. That type of thing, right? Am I taking the analogy too far?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
How weird.
That was weird.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Age of Steam. I'm all embarrassed.
My number 7 is a historically themed game, and I'm really usually very on board with those kinds of things. And I enjoyed this game when it first came out. I played it, I think, exactly once, and I was very hyped about it. When Tom got rid of his copy, I was the first one to raise my hand to take it because of that, and I have yet to play it again. And so
He wants it back.
I'm pretty much done with it. That is 1960, The Making of a President.
Really?
Yeah, I can't pull myself because it's a 2-player game. It's probably too heavy for my wife. Not that she wouldn't be able to understand it, she just wouldn't enjoy it. So I don't really have I don't really have an avenue of getting it played again, and I'm not really interested in seeking out an avenue to get it played again. It just doesn't carry the same sparkle as it once did. So it's...
What if they make a version of it called
Probably.
2016?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
He went there.
You've done that like the last 2 top 10s. I
I
don't
have
even know.
not. I did it on one. One.
I'm just saying.
How many?
I didn't make any kind of negative thing. I'm just saying.
One.
Would it be
One. One.
I think we're done here.
Yes, we are.
Number 6.
My number 6 is very similar to Sam's number 10. This is Sid Meier's Civilization.
Ah, yes. I thought about this one too.
I really like Sid Meier's Civ. It's really cool. And I played it, and I liked it, and there's multiple paths to victory, and it's a cool civilization game, and why am I not playing a computer game?
This is the one that FFG put out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the other one, also I will not play again, probably the one that Eagle put out, but I would hesitate to call that one a great game, and that one was, hey, there's no other games out there that we like, and so this is pretty neat. But there's a lot of problems with that game. But the Fantasy Flight one is actually pretty well designed. People often ask why I never did a review of it. I only played it once, and I liked it a lot. But again, I guess I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to play it again.
That review would
You know?
take 20 minutes for you.
Yeah, probably. And there's multiple expansions for it. It's interesting, but there are other Civ games. I would play probably 7 Ages before I played that one again. And that's with fewer components, because when I play Sid Meier's Civ, I'm thinking, I should be playing Sid Meier's Civ on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know how to explain it other than that. And I know that's probably just me. Again, that's nothing against the game, but I just won't play
I
it again.
think the same thing when I'm playing that game.
Which
I
one?
should be playing Sid Meier's Civ.
Oh, yeah.
When is my turn going to come back around?
Yeah, on the computer, you're like, click, my turn again. That should be like on our top 10 list, things we wish board games were like computer games. We'd be like, yeah, I get to always go. It's always my turn.
All right, my number, what are we on? 6s now?
Yeah.
Yep.
My number 6 is, there might be people that think that this is not a good game, and I wouldn't
don't know what the game
disagree
is.
with them, although I do think it's a clever design, and for the maybe 2 times that I played it, I enjoyed it. It's just too thinky for me. Ricochet Robots.
Oh.
Ricochet
I
Robots.
thought when I was going through my list, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to play this again. But I bet Sam will never play it again.
No, I will not. It doesn't even entice me, not in the least bit.
But you like the game, you're saying.
I do remember liking the game and thinking, wow, this is neat. But I think the first time that it really kind of hit me, I don't think I want to play this game again, is when we played it at a larger group, and we had a whole bunch of people thinking about it at the same time, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I can do this, and then like somebody said, I can get it done in like half the number of moves that I did, and I was like, yeah.
Have you played the Mutant Meeple one from... I don't know if you might like that one better.
Too similar, though, for him to like it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably
It's the
true.
same thing, but the pawns have powers. So like
one
this
pawn can
guy,
move
when this guy
sideways
gets
and then
to,
go.
this guy can like
Yeah.
whatever switch with another guy, or he can like turn or whatever. They have special powers.
I see.
It's really thinky, also though.
Yeah, I don't have a desire at all to play this game ever again. Ricochet Robots.
I'm sure I'll be bringing it to game night. All right.
So this is a list of games we can like bring to game night and know, like, oh, I don't want to play with Z tonight.
Yep.
Can I see that list?
Wow, that's useful. Well, this is one, Sam, you can definitely bring to the next game night, and I will not be playing with you or anyone, and that's Battlestar Galactica.
Really?
number
You're done with it
6.
forever?
I'm done with it forever. Now, I owned this game for a long time. I played it several times. I'm just sort of done with it because, again, well, for one thing, the theme doesn't really hold a ton of water with me. I've seen most of the series, and it's an all-right series. I enjoyed it, but I don't necessarily want to live in it, like being in the game. In that theme doesn't really do anything for me. And then it's a pretty long game. I find it to be the level of like exciting moments, the ratio, I should say, of exciting moments to I'm just doing something to further the game. Who's next? Let's go. Is a little off for me, I I could go for that game if it was like an hour, and those decisions that make you feel like, oh boy, someone's stabbing me in the back, or if you're the bad guy going, they're too far between for me. So my number 6 is Battlestar Galactica. Plus, that genre has really taken off. There's so many games that do similar themes these days
true.
that I'll find one that's more to my taste.
Yeah, I actually considered that, but then I thought there's a decent chance I'll play it again somewhere, so
Yeah.
I didn't put it on my list. But you're right about the fact that that's we could play Battlestar Galactica or boom, 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 boom. There's a lot of games in that genre.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5 has already been mentioned by Herr Vasel, and that is actually for me. I'll add one of the games that he said he would rather play instead of this to this little cadre of games, and that is Age of Steam.
And you're adding Steam?
Or even Steam, yeah.
What about Railroad Tycoon?
Yeah, that can probably go in there as well. These are just I guess I'm just not a Puffin Billy kind of guy because I don't.
Just lost our 2 train fans.
I don't really have that deep of an inclination to play a game about trains. If I want to play a train game, I'll play Ticket to Ride.
That's
You
not
know?
a train
there's some
game.
guy out there just
That's
had
I
not-
understand.
You call
I
that a
understand.
train game?
I know. That's
Gotta
what I'm
go,
saying, though.
"Whoa."
I'm not in that.
Who's thinking that's a train game?
No, I don't know how we got to the Gungan thing there.
You have derailed the entire. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a bad pun. Anyway, that I'm just not in that camp of gamers. I guess you could say. I don't have. I don't know. I just don't. There was one.
You're not a big fan of the whole build routes, then pick up things and deliver them anymore?
Not.
But you played a lot of
so
these
much.
games.
I have. Yeah. I just. It seems like a.
Well,
same
you've
old,
evolved and the
same
games
old,
stay the
same
same. That's
I
the
guess
thing,
so,
you know?
yeah.
Well, I think
Kind
it's
of.
very similar to me. I found that those kind of games do not attract me as much as they used to.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when we were young and impressionable, but I don't have a desire to play those kinds of games as much anymore. So, sorry.
All right. My number 5 is a party game called But Wait, There's More. And I played a few times I think I played with you
Yeah,
a
it's
few
a great
times.
game.
I played a few times at a friend's house, in a party setting. And the game is good. It's a well-done game. It can be funny. But I find the crux of the whole thing for me is that everybody around the table is making a pitch for the same item. The game is like one of those games where you make a pitch for a thing and everybody laughs and they assign points that don't matter and whatever. But I don't like that so much. The whole, okay, we're all selling a vacuum cleaner. And so the first guy is funny because his vacuum cleaner, you can ride on it and it also folds your laundry. Ha ha ha. And then the next one is also a vacuum cleaner and this one can fly and it freezes ice
That
cream.
bothers you that the
And
item's
then the
the
next
same?
person is also selling a vacuum cleaner that who cares? And the next one is a vacuum cleaner that cleans. It's all, I don't like that it's the same item all the way around.
Becomes a.
So it's like, okay, that was funny the first couple
almost.
times, but eh. And so the game for me has just sort of fallen flat and I'm done with it at this point.
Wow.
I'd rather be playing something like Snake Oil. I don't know. It's like I get that it's like a sidestep to something like, but wait, there's more. But I just like it better.
This may be the first error on the list.
Ooh.
Because there's a possibility that in our next marathon, we'll play But Wait, There's More. What are you going to do then?
Sit out.
I'll wear like a cap that says, I'm a filthy liar.
Me and you will go get something to eat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're good at that game.
I don't know. I understand what he's
It's
saying.
a funny
though.
game to watch. So
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's why I
That is
like
a funny
you
game
for
to
that
watch.
place.
But when I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, what can I do that's funnier than what that guy just said? Because he's right. You're pitching the same thing. It's like one-upsmanship. Not the game, but the actual
This came
activity.
with pills I would take.
But it's just I don't know. I see where he's coming from. I just.
well, I will play
You
this
feel
game again.
similarly a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Anyway, that's my number 5, but wait, there's more.
We just agreed again.
My number 5 is historical game, Britannia. This one was just published maybe, I think, 10 years ago by Fantasy Flight Games. And it's a very good game. It's 4 players. They play different tribes and groups that were in Britain, from the Roman invasion of Britain all the way up to the Norman invasion of Britain. And so you play a different group. Like you might play the Romans, and then you'll play the Picts, and maybe later on the Saxons. I don't know which groups are together. It's a cool game. It's a lengthy game, maybe 3-hour game going on in there. The problem is that while the game is very good, it plays very similarly each time. It follows history it's very hard for you to deviate from history that much. There are minor deviations in the game. So I've seen it. I said it was good, but I'm done. There's no need to go back and play the same game again.
So it's kind of like Sam was saying with Caravelas, is the same game sort of
plays
out the same way.
Thing. Now, I know that the people who are big fans of the game and the designer can say, well, no, look, you can do all these minor variations. But I'm more of a guy who can be like, what if this time Britain invaded Rome? You know, that's kind of where I'm, like when you play a big World War game, like even like Axis and Allies for a simple game, those follow the same things, but Germany can say, you know what, this time we're going to make a concerted effort to conquer Britain. Or no, this game we're going to go for Russia. There's at least a few major things they can do. This one did not have that feel to it. So it's very good, but almost more of a historical lesson than me wanting to play it again. That's Britannia.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is one of the first games on the list that has kind of been replaced by another game, and that's even with a more deluxe version coming out, or that has already come out for this game that is on my list, and I would still rather play the other game that I think has replaced it for me. And the game that's on my list is Carson City, and the one that I would rather play instead is Deadwood. So I don't know. It's just. There's a lot of...
So sad. I like Carson City.
There's Carson City just seems to be like the bloated cousin of Deadwood. If
like a floater?
I guess so. I mean, it's
dead
just...
body?
They
Okay.
You don't know what that means, huh?
No, there's a different definition for floater. I was thinking, all right, continue.
Oh my goodness.
You need to watch more crime TV or something, man.
Ew, it just got nasty up and on his top 10.
What's wrong with you, man?
I didn't know what you were talking about. Sorry.
A dead carcass in the water.
Yes, I get that. Okay.
Yes, not.
Go ahead.
Not that
sorry.
Floater. Anyway. Anyway, Carson City is actually kind of a floater in that sense, because I'm never going to play it again. Oh, I don't play with floaters anyway. Anyway, okay, so Carson City, yeah, I'm not going to play that again. I'd rather play Deadwood. I'm done.
Highbrow humor here in the Days Tower. All right, my number 4.
You started that.
You did. You went for the 6-year-old definition of that.
I did not know what you were talking about. Okay, anyway, my number 4 is a stand-in for a lot of games in this category. So I'm putting the one I think that defines it the most, and that is Brass. All right, I played Brass. I thought, hey, this is a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see this. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm never playing it again. It's good. I understand that. It's interesting as you build these routes around. It almost falls into Age of Steam, and it's by the same designer too. But there are a lot of these big Euro games like, oh, wow, that's really intriguing. We're done. And that's where I'm at with Brass. People are like, do you want to play Brass? No, for 2 main reasons. One, because it feels like a lot of work, even though I know it's good and I have fun, it's work. And also everyone who likes Brass, I don't want to play with them because they know the intricacies of the system so well. It almost goes back to what I said about X-Wing, that it's like, you just took that route? No. You know, I'm going to just move over the map.
That's what you're doing?
I'm going to move over the map and then you go, don't do that. Oh, that's the one I should do. But if you go... You know what I mean? It's not okay. It's not that bad, right? But it's still, people are like, oh, are you sure you want to play Brass with us again? Type of situation.
Right.
Then you know you're not a very good player.
Because I'm sure we don't want to play with you.
All right, so Brass.
Okay, my number 4 is a game from Portal Games that probably no one has heard of, and it's called Witchcraft. And Witchcraft is a game that came out a year or 2 years after Neuroshima Hex originally came out, and it utilized some of the same ideas, some of the same concept of line of sight, and attacking and all of this stuff. But it was very, in some aspects, it was very different. You were trying to attack the other players, wizards or mages or whatever, and then you would flip them over to your color and capture them. It's a 2-player game only, and it's a neat game. It's a very heady, sort of puzzly game. But the 1-2 punch there for me that seals it is there's Hiroshima Hex, which I find to be more interesting, and plus there's all the armies. In that game there were no armies. You had your guys, I had my guys, they were identical. And then the other thing is that the game's quality, the printing of it was in the early days of Portal, so it was just so-so. Cardboard's not that good. The printing of it itself was not that great, so kind of game. I owned it for many years, played it, enjoyed it, but at this point, I think I'm done with it forever. If I ever feel like playing something like it, I can just play Hiroshima Hex, and then I can pick an army. I can have a little more flavor going into this experience, So that's my number 4, Witchcraft.
We have nothing to say.
Because you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 is the very epitome about what I talked about with my X-Wing and what I just mentioned a little bit with Brass. And this is a game that I think is an excellent, great game, but I cannot play it because it's really hard to teach to new people. And the scene of people playing it right now is so advanced and so far into it that I cannot play them because it's just not fun for me at all. It's a card game. What do you think?
Android Netrunner.
That's right, Android Netrunner. I really like Android Netrunner, but I don't think I'll play it again because I have only those options. Teach it to somebody new, or play it with somebody who knows the game so inside and out that they will destroy me quickly.
And laugh at you.
Now, I mean...
Not just because of your hat, either.
I actually considered a lot of the...
I knew he's going to go there.
I actually considered a lot of the LCGs and CCGs for this regard.
What is he doing to you, sir?
Anyhow, a lot of the... but even, for example, Magic the Gathering... I can play with Melody, and it's easy for me to find
people. The game hasn't taken leaps and bounds since you played it. It's probably part of it.
True, but I mean, Android
Magic, you
Netrunner,
could play right now Magic, and you'd know what was going on in the game. You played Android Netrunner right now since you played, and you'd probably be floundering just to keep up with the rules.
Yeah, but I was floundering a little bit even right after we started playing because people jumped into that game and grabbed it and talked. It's not a simple game to begin with. There's a lot of complexities to it, and it really stands out that mind that that time you were playing Sam.
Yes.
And that lady sat down next to you. It was basically you definitely, and she was telling you all the optimal moves, and I was like, I didn't even know. I thought it was kind of. I just want to have fun playing a game per se.
Right.
And that community is super serious, and that's fine. I'm not insulting that community at all, but I can't get into that. I like to play games on a somewhat casual level, and Android Netrunner doesn't appear to be casual at all. It really doesn't.
Right.
I don't know anybody who says, "Oh yeah, I play Android Netrunner once in a while." You either play it, or you're like me and say, "I won't play it again."
You're out.
In fact, I thought maybe you might put it on your list, actually. All right, what's your number 3?
All right, my number 3 is a co-op game which played a few times, enjoyed, but the game is very samey at the end of the day, and that is Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil, my number 3. I finally got rid of it a couple months ago. And the game is so gorgeous too. It's aching, heart achingly gorgeous. But what you do in the game, turn over turn, is pretty much the same thing.
Wait, did you ever beat it?
I think I beat it once solo.
Doesn't count. No one knows. No one was there. No proof.
Right.
Oh, okay.
No one saw you do it?
Never beat it.
Pixar didn't happen.
I have a picture.
No, you don't.
Anyway, I really like, again, the idea of the game, the way that the game is presented, is gorgeous, very cool co-op game. And I'm a huge co-op fan, just too samey. So I played it out, I'm done with it, got rid of it, and moved on. There's plenty of good co-op games.
As I say,
anyway.
It doesn't help that genre has so many great games.
Yeah. So I would love for there to be a second version of the game someday with a little more, more varied choices in that system. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But anyway, that's my number 3, Yggdrasil.
My number 3 has already been mentioned by someone on this number 3, and it is for the exact reason he mentioned it. The game Android Netrunner.
I crossed over with Sam!
And the idea,
I wanna cross
the
over.
very same reason that you mentioned, that game that we were playing with Zee, that has forever just turned me off to the
that
game.
one lady.
That person, that was basically telling us what to do.
Well, she was sitting next to me going, oh, you don't have such and such card in your deck? And I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
I don't know. Oh, you need to. Why?
Right.
Can I please play?
Yeah, right. I just want to play the game. I don't want to be told all of the different optimal cards that are
Yeah, she
even in
definitely
my
made
deck.
me feel dumb for not fielding some cards. Yeah.
Right, and it was the first time we ever played the game.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But it is a really intriguing game.
It is. It is. And that just really soured my entire experience. So this is not even the game's fault. It's a gamer fault that just really turned me off to the entire game because I don't want to play a game that people are going to look down their nose at me as I play the game. Because they've been playing it longer and they know how to play the game better. And they're like, oh, well.
But it might not even be so much of a turn down your nose. It might be someone who is very nice, but at the same time, they don't want to. It's like me. One of my kids say, "Oh, Daddy, can I play? You know, one of these really complicated games with me?" And I'm like,
A very similar.
"That's not fun for me."
We just had a very similar situation with London Dread at Gen Con. But it was a completely different thing because, I don't know, the person just had a different air about them, I think. You know, that,
Oh, yeah, no, it was not. It was
girl
not
that was
that. It was
kinda-
not that whole, like, oh, you're not doing this.
Right. She was coaching us, but she was doing it because she wanted to see us succeed in the game, not because, oh, you don't have that card in your deck. I can't believe that you don't have that. It wasn't that. It was a completely different spirit, and it was fine. It was absolutely okay. But I don't care if I ever play Android Netrunner again, and it was her fault.
Again, though, I'm not.
I don't even know who you are, but it's your fault.
I don't want to blame all these people per se, and sometimes they're very, like I said, they're very nice.
Yeah.
But you realize that it's not fun for them to play you because you're playing so suboptimally for them.
Correct. So why even try?
Number 2.
My number 2 is a game which I guess is an evolution of Kingsburg, and this is Kingsport Festival, a Cthulhu-ish themed Kingsburg, sorta, kinda, with a bunch of locations, action selection. I love the theme. I'm one of those guys that is not jaded by Cthulhu stuff yet, anyway, at all. I love that theme. You tell me the game's got that theme, I'm on board till I find out it's a storytelling game anyway. And then I'm like, oh, no. But anyway, this is a great game. I have a couple of issues with it, with the production mostly, actually. The game, the printing on the game from the manufacturer is so dark that it's problematic to play. I mean, like, maybe there's a second edition and
It also takes up the whole table.
They backed up on that, but yeah, it's all so just covered in black ink that it's hard to see what's going on. It's a massive game. There is just a bunch of, like, move this to here and do that over there and learn this stuff. So it's not a complex game, but I had issues with the production to the point that I feel like I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. Again, if a cleaned up version came out, I would try it. But that version that exists right now, I'm done with. I would still say, if you like Cthulhu, if you like Kingsburg, check it out. Just for me, I'm over it at this point. So that's Kingsport Festival, my number 2.
I think that might be the beginning of the end for you. Cthulhu games just kind of start.
What do you
As
mean?
more and more of them come out. You're big on Cthulhu.
I am.
You're
You
big
like
on
Mansion
Cthulhu.
of Madness, though, right?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah. So I
I tend to like most of them. I do.
that's part of my problem with Cthulhu games. Is it seems like every game is getting that shellacked onto them because it's a what is it, a free, what is it,
Public domain.
public domain. Yeah, it's public domain now, so everybody's like, ooh, yeah, we'll take it. And it's like a lot of subpar games are being made with it, and it's just like, come on, enough already. So I don't know, maybe not.
What's
So
your
far,
number
I'm pretty
2?
happy with them, though.
Yeah, I got it. Number 2, this one's probably going to get me a lot of flack, but that's okay. Because a lot of people like this game, and I like it too. I really do enjoy it, except for one minor flaw. I hate that you have to, you can't fight somebody that's attacking you unless you declare war against them first. You can't go and attack somebody that you know is about to attack you because you're not at war with them. And so I've played War of the Ring, and I don't think I will ever play it again.
Oh, wow. See, I thought about this one too, but
Simply because, and this is one of the games, this is one of the games where it has been replaced with a similar and even a similarly themed game. Battle of Five Armies, I'm totally in on. I love the theme. I love that game. And one of the main reasons that differentiates it between the two is I don't have to declare war against somebody to attack them. We already are at war. So, I don't know. That's just, I know it's probably a little minor thing with most of the people out there, and people will probably say I'm a complete idiot.
it's also less complex and long.
Exactly.
and
It's less
shorter.
complex, it's shorter, it's streamlined. There's just so much more beta with Battle of Five Armies than with War of the Ring, so I don't think I will ever play War of the Ring
I'm
again.
thinking I'll play War of the Ring when I retire and have a chance to sit around. I considered it for the same reason, but I'm like, it might happen someday, right? I might sit around and play War of the Ring.
So when you retire, you'll play subpar games as opposed to like the better option available?
No. I'm not saying it's a subpar game. I like War of the Ring. I mean, I like Battle of Five Armies better, but I wouldn't say.
So play that one.
I think they're more different than Sam was
okay,
saying.
okay.
And my number 2, Go. Go is a great game. I cannot argue that. It has a TV channel in Korea that's on 24 hours, 7 days a week about
Just
it.
play Go?
They play Go, they teach Go,
talk
they show
about Go,
Go.
they
It's
teach
all
Go.
go. It's amazing, right?
All go, all the time.
It really is, right?
Okay.
There's also a channel that shows StarCraft all the time too. So, but I can understand it. I've played it several times. I've been taught it, and it's every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, that is a great game. My brain is like melting. There's like 4 rules in the game, but it's just the way they interact. I can just say, yes, Go is great. People are like, have you played it? Yes, I played it. I check off my box.
Would you like
I've
to play
done it,
now?
but I will not play it again, okay? I like some abstract strategy games. I really do. There's some I think are fantastic. I want ones that are, even if they have great depth, I want them on the surface to at least, I feel like I know what I'm doing. You know, I almost put chess on this list, but I'll probably play chess on a computer someday somewhere.
Right.
I'm not going to play Go again. I'm just not. But it's a great game.
And finally, number 1.
All right, here we go. Number 1.
You're going for a 1?
10.
You got a 1 and a 0.
I also got a 10. And you
could've
got
been
a
a
10
contender.
as well. We all rolled 10s.
Hey, we're all
we'll do it simultaneously,
we're all
guy. Here we
natural
go.
10s.
Let's do oh.
No, we're rolling again. Come on.
No, we should all do it at the same time.
No, we're rolling again. Come on. That makes no sense. 4.
6.
8!
So 8, 6, 4. Really? We're being extra cute today.
That's amazing.
They were
to
all
roll.
even numbers.
To roll. The chance of that 10 is very minute. All right, anyway. Go ahead.
Okay, this is going to probably make you mad, but we'll go down this way.
Okay, fine. My number 1 has been mentioned already.
Ooh.
Android Netrunner.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah!
Android Netrunner is my
Because
number
he was real
1.
quiet when we
Yeah,
were
he
talking,
was, yeah, he
and
was.
so I thought,
I was being coy. Yes, I owned it when I played with Sam. That was my copy. I followed it for a little bit. I got a few of those data packs or whatever they call
yeah,
them.
you and me were both buying them, and then we were like,
But
we're
then
never
I
playing
missed
this.
a few, and I turned around, and the game had sort of become this big beast, and I was like, I can't play with anybody, and I'm out. It's really hard. I think the main thing is it's just really hard to find someone to play with because, again, like Tom said, you either have to teach them, and when everything in the game has 2 names, depending on what side you're playing, I don't want to teach your game. Or they know it so well that they'll be teaching me stuff, and that's not fun either when I'm trying to play and they're, doing the whole, that's what you're playing, that's not fun. So, Android Netrunner, I agree with these guys, and that's my number 1.
So that's our only, I think, 3
Three-way
crossover. Yeah.
Three-way crossover, yeah.
All right, my number 1 is a game I talk about a lot. I really don't like this game, but I've played it multiple times. I use it in classrooms tons of times. It's definitely a great game. It's lasted 60 years, and that's Diplomacy. I cannot argue about how good this game is, and like I said, I use it in teaching situations, and I've played it multiple times and stuff. But I've even played it online a few years ago. but I'm done. You ask me to play it online? For charity? For anything? The answer is a flat out no. You could pay me. Not playing it. Okay, maybe we shouldn't go too far because there is probably a price at which I would play it.
Yeah, there probably is.
But for the most part, I mean, I'm just done with it. And I understand all the coolness, the trend that it's set and all that stuff.
Right.
And yay, and people love it. That's great. And I can understand that. It's not like the game is like, that's broken game. It's not. It's just not touching it myself. Diplomacy.
Well, a game having an important point in history, having its importance and being fun to you right now, those two things don't really have
That's
anything
true,
to do
but
with
I
one
also
another.
I have to say it's a solid game, and like when I use it in classrooms and kids
Yeah,
are negotiating, it was really cool. But I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
Nope. I like my friends. Don't want to lose them.
All right. My number 1 is a game that I actually really enjoy the system that the game uses. And it is, I know that this is probably the best implementation. What are you doing?
No, go ahead.
Nothing.
Is that your guess for what
I guess
the number is?
is
You
on your
wrote down
list.
the guess.
Do you think I might be right?
Yeah.
All right. So people will probably even say it's the best implementation of that battle system.
Oh, never mind.
But it's...
said battle.
Oh, huh?
You said battle. So
Oh,
it
I
can't be
said
mine.
battle. Okay. But this is my least favorite game in that system, and that is Command and Colors Ancients. I really don't like it at all. I have played it once, maybe twice. Not a fan of the blocks, not a fan of some of the rules of having to keep the line straight and all that other kind of stuff. I just think it's too much for what I want in that kind of game. So my Command and Colors Ancients days are over. I will more gladly play any of the other games that are in that same system.
I knew
Battle Lore.
that's true. And the Battle Lore has really beat it up for you,
Yeah,
right?
Battle Lore's really beat it up.
War.
I mean, really, Battle Cry is also a better game, and I enjoy that period of history more. And Memoir 44 is just, for me, the cream of the crop in that battle system. And then the new one that just came out, The Great War, is even, I like that even better than Command and Colors Ancients as well. So that's my number
Not
1.
reflect those days. Here's what I thought it was. I thought you were going to say Catan.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because you you every time we mention Catan, you're like, oh, Catan, Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
But I think you probably won't play regular
Deutschland.
Catan again.
No, I won't. No, that's. But I mean, I didn't even. The thing that makes Catan Geography Germany good for me has really nothing to do with how good I think the game is.
So you don't think Catan's a good game?
I don't.
Ooh. I'm over here with him.
Sam Healey at
Yeah, go ahead and send it to samhealy@gmail.com because that's not my email address.
Don't do it then.
All right, so please don't send it to me. What do you think? What do you think of our list? Put it in the comments. Tell us what games you think are great games, but you know you'll never play them again. Maybe because you won't have a chance to. Maybe because it was replaced by other things. Maybe because you just now hate it and you used to love it or whatever.
Yeah. The reason why is what I want to see in the comments. That's the really interesting thing for me. The why you might not play a game anymore.
Right.
All right, well, anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, thank you, folks.
See you on the flip side, folks. Sam Healy.